All right, so today I'm doing an oil change on my 2022 Ram 2500 Power Wagon. And this is just a quick video I wanted to show using a quick release oil drain valve, kind of, talk a little bit about advantages, potential disadvantages, and just, you know, kind of throw it out there for some people that may not know these exist or haven't heard of them or haven't seen them in action. One of the things that this allows you to do is to do an oil analysis. I like to do an oil analysis every once in a while. You just order a kit from Blackstone Labs or one of those other oil analysis companies. There's quite a few of them out there. Send it in and they'll kind of give you a rundown on how your oil's performing, if you have any potential engine issues based on contaminants in the oil, that type of thing. So we'll go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my oil analysis kit out so I can fill it up. It's just a cup. It's almost like taking a urine sample, except for the vehicle. So we're going to fill this up and then we send it off to the lab. So just to show what one of these Fumoto valves looks like off the car. I know the light in here is not great, but this is what they look like. This is the part that replaces the bolt. I just happen to have an extra one. It's very difficult to see in here, but there's a ball check valve in there that when you turn the handle, basically turns and releases the oil from here. And as you can see, there's a little lip right here. So if you want to put a little hose on there when you're draining the oil just to make it even a little bit cleaner, you can do that as well. So here we are under the truck, and as you can see, I've got this Fumoto style quick oil drain valve. You can put a hose on the end there where that nipple is if you want, or not. You can see that black lock right there that keeps the lever from accidentally opening up. There's several different styles. There's this one, there's the stall bus, which I also like, but it requires two pieces. The second piece you can't lose or it's worthless. This one is just a one piece. So let me go ahead and get this started and I'll show you what it looks like. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this black lock so that I can turn the lever. All right, now that lock is removed, as you can see, and all you got to do is pull this up and twist it this way, like so, and you'll start getting oil flow. Now, what I'm going to do is, because I'm out here by myself, I'm going to go ahead and do that. One of the nice things about this is you can adjust the flow so it's just not all dumping out at one time, like if you remove an oil bolt. So that's what allows you to get your cup up in there, get a sample, and then drain the rest without being quite so messy. And that's one of the reasons I like these. It just helps cut down on the mess. It prevents you from stripping out this oil pan bolt by repeated use, from getting leaks, from constantly taking it on and off. If you don't replace the crush washer, you might get a leak. So this is just, it has a lot of advantages that way. So let me go ahead and get that part done, and then I'll show you what it looks like as it's draining. So I have filled up the little cup that comes with it, filled up to send off for oil analysis. And then once I get that back, I can kind of show what that looks like and show some sample ones. But I'm going to send that off just to make sure everything inside the engine is not having any issues I need to be aware of. So there is the valve fully open. Now I ran this truck a little bit, so the oil is nice and hot. It's flowing pretty well. It does flow a little slower than pulling the bolt out, which again helps cut down on mess. So I just open this valve all the way, and then at any time I can shut it, kind of control the flow, how much is coming out at any given time. And then at the end of this, I'm going to address some questions people have about potential issues with these, and kind of my thoughts on that. Now, one of the nice things I want to land under the truck here with this valve is it lets you, like, I just stopped it because I've got a smaller oil drain pan here, and it's getting full, and before it gets too full, I want to go ahead and put it in my oil container that I use to take to the recycler, just so again, it cuts down on mess. I just hate spilling oil everywhere. Anybody that does their own maintenance You know, after a while, it's just making a mess is just such a pain. So anything I can do to cut down on mess, this is just something that does that. And as you can, my oil drain pan is pretty full. I still got some more to, you know, these trucks hold quite a bit of oil. I got some more to get out of there along with the oil filter. So we'll go ahead and get that all drained out into my container and then finish this up. All right, so as you can see, I've finished draining, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about what I like to do when this is all complete. I make sure that I clean all this oil up, because if this were to ever leak, I would want to be able to look at it and know that there's a potential issue. Now, I've never heard of them leaking. I'm sure that, you know, it's a possibility, but with this type of valve, I've never heard of one of these leaking or causing any particular issue. You know, if you search around enough, maybe you'll hear about it, but I've used them on multiple vehicles, never had a single issue like that. So I go ahead and lock this shut. Go ahead and put the lock back on it so that it doesn't accidentally come undone. And you see it's got a little thing there that goes around the valve itself, or around the handle, right? So that locks it and prevents it from accidentally opening up if something were to hit it. And then the other thing I like to do is I like to put a little plug on here. So I'll get those plugs that you see for like capping off a vacuum line or something like that, and just put it over that. Not necessary, but just keeps crap out of there, and, you know, kind of makes it look a little cleaner. So I'll get one of those and put it on there before I'm done. And then that's it. That's using the Fumoto valve for changing the oil. This was very simple. I didn't get messy. I didn't have oil splash everywhere like I usually do in these. So you know, if you're interested in one, they're pretty cheap. You can get them on Amazon. Just make sure you know your thread pitch, and you know what your you know what size the bolt is. So the thread pitch and the size the bolt is, and then you can order one and give it a shot. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free.